Hey, what's up, everybody? Brotrio here, and Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 is out today. So, in the spirit of that, we are counting down our top 10 Spider-Man villains. Now, these are our top 10 Spider-Man villains overall, but all of these, we hope, have a glorious appearance in this Spider-Man game. Some are confirmed to be in it, some aren't. Hopefully, whether they're in it or not, they're great.
Gotta save a few for the sequels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man is one of the best. He has the best rogues gallery, pretty much, of anyone in Marvel. He's my favorite superhero by far.
Definitely
and
Marvel.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is just amazing and knows how to beat all these baddies up. So let's count down all these bad guys for the Spider-Man top 10 villains. And dusting off the number 10 is the one, the only, Flint Marko, aka Sandman. Now, he's one of the only non-animal themed villains of Spider-Man, and I mean, he is a great villain. I mean, he has sand powers. It's absolutely crazy.
Like, his powers are just insane, and he's got such a weird, like, sad backstory.
Yeah, he really does.
He doesn't want to be a monster, but he's stuck.
But
I think that was mainly Spider-Man 3.
That might have been more
often. He was the best part of Spider-Man 3. But
definitely.
More often than not, he seems like most of Spider-Man's villains, where they're just kind of like a thug with powers.
Yes.
Not most, but a good portion.
Flint Marko full on is, but he has his heart
he
in
always
the right place. Like, he's not evil.
Not
he's
all
just
the way to the
bad.
right place. Yeah.
But Sandman gets his spot on this list for his wide variety of powers alone. I mean, he can change his density to become super hard. He can turn his fists into maces or any other weapon that he wants. He can grow giant if he's on a beach. He can just let loose and blow away with the breeze. He can do any number of things, and he's always a treasure to watch Spider-Man fight.
The Vulture is one of those villains that has a clear motivation that is not necessarily evil. He just goes about it in an evil way. Because he just wants to be young again. He's an old guy, and he does all this Egyptian technology crap and just absorbs youth out of people. And, I mean, he's kind of lame in a way, but Michael Keaton just made him on this list because in Spider-Man Homecoming, Vulture was just amazing.
Yeah, Michael Keaton really did a great job.
Yeah, they ditched the Egyptian, like, sucking up youth shtick for this more in tune to the name of him. Like, he used to just be called Vulture because he was old and looked like a vulture. But now Michael Keaton is a scavenger, picking up the scraps after Avengers battles and, like, surviving off them like an actual vulture does.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Stealing from S.H.I.E.L.D. and
he's
doing whatever he needs to do.
Definitely one of the more relatable villains in the MCU. Like, he was just making his living, and then the big, government people came in and they were like, hey, you can't do that. And he's like, but I rented all these trucks. And they were like, sorry. And he was like, well, I guess I'm a bad guy now.
Yeah, pretty much.
But either way you cut it, the Vulture is a relatable but also kind of a dick villain, and we just love him for it.
Now, this is probably the least well-known villain on this list, but Tombstone is a very well-done villain.
Yeah.
He is basically a evil crime boss with superpowers. He's like...
At least in Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure what he is outside of that.
That's my opinion, that's the most iconic version of him, was his appearance in Spectacular Spider-Man. He is just this omnipotent, like, overseeing bad entity that's just kind of like watching over Spider-Man, just like, I know you're out here doing this, and I'm gonna get in your way at some point. And he is, like, super durable. He has some form of super strength.
Yeah.
Not to mention, when he first meets Spider-Man, he just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, and his name Tombstone because it puts you in the ground. Not all of Spider-Man's villains are straight up superhuman or animal-based or anything like that. the kingpin of crime, Wilson Fisk, is probably Spider-Man's most down-to-earth villain. He is kind of sort of Spider-Man's Lex Luthor. He's bald, and he's technically got no superpowers, even though he totally does. But
he's really strong.
That's kind of like the Batman argument. Technically, no, he doesn't have superpowers in his universe, but like, humans aren't that powerful. But anyway, the Kingpin is definitely one of the better Spider-Man villains. He kind of moved over to Daredevil in the past few years, but he's just basically a really smart, 7-foot-tall sumo wrestling monster. He's got so much muscle mass, he can hold Spider-Man down because he's not fat. He is 100% almost muscle. Kingpin is awesome, he's smart, he's conniving, and he's classy.
Probably one of Spider-Man's most tragic villains is the Lizard, Kirk Connors. Because not only is he Peter Parker's friend and mentor, but he doesn't want to be a monster, and he's just terrified that one day he might accidentally eat his kid or something.
And it's very likely. He turns into a big old dinosaur or whatever. And
I mean, sometimes he goes a little overboard and is just like, I'm going to make everybody lizards. But that's the lizard half talking. That's not him.
Yeah.
And he just
wanted an arm.
Yeah, he just wanted an arm and to live a normal life. But as the Lizard, he is ferocious, he's really strong, really fast, and just terrifying.
Kicking off the top 5, we have a guy that read The Most Dangerous Game one too many times. Kraven the Hunter. He's such a friggin' animal. All he wants to do, for some reason, he sees it. I don't know why, but he sees Spider-Man as the ultimate prey. And I get it to some extent. Spider-Man, he's not the most powerful in Marvel or the fastest or whatever, but for some reason, Kraven was like, you know what? I've killed every animal that walks. It's time for a Spider-Man. And he wants to beat the shit or kill Spider-Man. I don't know if he wants to beat him up or kill him. Depends on if it's the cartoon. Cartoon, he probably don't want to kill him. But Kraven the Hunter has very weird and complicated motivations, and he's got powers from like berries or something. I don't really know, but Sergei Kravinoff is definitely one of the better Spider-Man villains in my opinion. Just mainly because he's just a good fight.
That's all he wants too. Yeah. Like, he doesn't want to rob banks or rule the world or anything like that. He wants a challenge.
Yeah, he wants a good hunt, and to him, Spider-Man is the ultimate prey.
The most insane and vicious enemy on this list, the appropriately named Carnage, is absolutely crazy in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Carnage is, for those of you who don't know, the Venom symbiote decided, it's the point in my life I need to have a baby. So it had a baby. That baby was Carnage. That symbiote was red and bonded to this murderer psychopath, Cletus Cassidy, and now they go around.
It bonded with his blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
That suit is him now.
Terrible combination.
He can make axes. He can do God knows what. He kills people God knows how many ways. And the worst part is now that symbiote is, it's like Scotty said, it is Cletus Cassidy. It is insane. If it gets on something else, it's not just them with the symbiote on them. It's Carnage in that form.
Those symbiotes carry over personality traits.
The Cosmic Carnage, whenever he gets on the Silver Surfer, is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. You give a serial killer like crazy superpowers and the ability to regenerate on par with Cell? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Case in point, he gets on Peter Parker in an alternate timeline, creates Spider Carnage. Spider Carnage decides the best course of everything is to literally destroy every universe that exists. Everything. Nothing will exist once he's done. And he would have succeeded if the Spider Army didn't like stop him. Like Spider-Man, the Metal Spider-Man.
They didn't even stop him. They got Uncle Ben to give him a hug.
Yeah, they just got Uncle Ben to hug it out, and Love won the battle, which was kind of lame. But Spider Carnage, there was next to no stopping him, because that just shows how big of an influence Carnage is. If he can corrupt Peter Parker that much, that's a feat.
The three next villains are absolutely, like, on most everybody's top 10s, are going to be the cream of the crop. They are up there. So don't get up in arms about our number 3 just because he's not quite as high as you would have put. Otto Octavius, or Dr. Octopus, is my personal favorite Spider-Man villain. It just didn't work out with the averages like how we do it at this channel. But he is the most brilliant mind, I believe, on this list. He has inventions that rival that of Tony Stark, and he's not necessarily the most evil or devious, but he is incredible.
He's pretty devious.
He has
I know, but like
he literally made the Sinister Six.
I know, but he's not like Carnage levels of anything like that. But I think he's the most interesting villain because he uses his intelligence and inventions to fight. And that's exactly what Spider-Man does. And Otto doesn't have any superpowers, but he's got a bunch of mechanical arms that'll give you the what for. And the ultimate villainous thing he did, outside of swapping bodies with Peter and letting Peter die in his old body, was banging Aunt May.
One of Spider-Man's most iconic villains is the Green Goblin.
Oh, this is definitely...
Yeah.
This is definitely his main, like, rival.
Like, Norman Osborn is just such a jerk. Like,
oh, he was a jerk before.
Like, the fact that he will do anything to make sure he wins is absolutely terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
His son standing in his way, he doesn't care if he needs to frame his son for being the Green Goblin, he will.
Breaks his leg and makes it look like it's him.
Yes.
Like,
he's absolutely nuts.
He is just a son of a bitch.
Probably the most...
But I love him for it.
Yeah, he's probably the most dangerous on this list outside of mass murder, because, like, he'll do anything, and he is intelligent enough to do whatever he needs to do.
Plus, Willem Dafoe just did a spot-on job.
Oh, Willem Dafoe was great. The outfit looked a little Power Ranger-ish, but Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he did such a great job with that villain. And probably the scariest thing about him is he's not a good guy gone bad. He's a bad guy gone worse.
We've said his name a few times on this list already. He's one of Spider-Man's main 3 villains that isn't Doc Ock or Green Goblin.
The Spot.
It's not the Spot. It is the only person it could be that's Spider-Man's #1 villain. It's Venom. I mean, how else could it not be Venom? He is basically a bad Spider-Man, like, except better. He has, he has Spider Sense immunity because the symbiote was bonded to Spider-Man for so long, it doesn't come up on a Spider Sense anymore. He's stronger, he's faster, he's conniving, he can
shapeshift,
tentacles,
shoot web.
Yeah. He's got like heavy duty impact webbing. I mean, the list goes on and on. Venom, when he's Spider-Man's villain, was just a force of nature that Spider-Man could not overcome until he like really gets down and thinks of a way to get out of it, because he can't just web it up and be kind of clever. He has to put everything he has into beating Venom, because it's someone like he is. And that's why Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain. Hell, he's my favorite comic book villain. Venom is just incredible in every way to me, and I love watching any time they fight, because it's just like uneven, but even, but not at the same time, and Spider-Man has to do everything he can to overcome it, and he always comes out on top, which is the reason I love Spider-Man. Hey, thanks for watching. Did you like the video? Why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? It really helps us grow the channel. And don't forget to ring that bell to join our notification squad. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I put the links in the description just to make it easier for you to get to. And we will catch you next time for the next video from the Bro Trio.